Are we live? I think we are. All right. What's up, guys? Another Friday. It's another football Friday night out here in the USA, and I'm glad you guys are here. Today, we're talking about St. John Bosco versus St. Francis, and it's going to be a good one because St. Francis, they're 0-3 right now, but they've played some high-level competition, man. So I dropped their last game, well, one of their games versus Buford, and that was a tough one, man. It was 18-0, and they run a lot of RPOs and they do a lot of bubble screens and just they try to go side to side with it. So it's going to be really cool to see how Michael Van Buren, he's an Oregon commit, he's going to be playing against St. John Bosco today. So to see him play against the quickness and the speed of St. John Bosco, I mean, Bosco is vicious. I mean, if you're playing Bosco or if you're playing Modern Day, you got to know these guys are vicious and they're going to get at you and they're going to try to make you quit. So I believe St. Francis is pretty battle tested. I think that they're going to be able to put up a fight just like they did against Buford. Key guys that I'm looking at for tonight, of course, Michael Van Buren. Michael Van Buren's going to Oregon. He's about a 5'11", 190-pound, but just dual threat quarterback. Another senior is number 5, Idris Farouk. I don't want to mess up his name, but I like the way he plays. I think he's got a lot of grit, and I think that Elijah Pedro might get some balls, number 0. So I really feel like if they are to attack St. John Bosco and be real aggressive, I mean, not just going side to side, because let's be honest, you can't beat St. John Bosco going side to side. You got to go down the field. So if he can start throwing down the field, and that's where the senior Mason Bell comes in. He's a big wide receiver. I think he's about, let me check. I think he's about 6'5". But yeah, man, I really like this St. Francis team, and I like the way that they're playing all these teams. I mean, everybody has to like it when you're playing against the best. So if you're going to schedule Buford, the first game, and then Chaminade, Madonna, and then East St. Louis, we know how good East St. Louis is. They almost came away with that one. They lost 7-13. But then again, now they're flying to L.A. They're out here. So they're all away games in Georgia, Hollywood, Florida, East St. Louis, and now they're coming to Cali. Big respect to St. Francis, man. And Michael Van Buren might be the guy that you need to watch for, because he might. And then again, they got Modern Day September 22nd. So they're not ducking nobody, man. So Michael Van Buren, I think he's going to be the one that benefits from this the most. Elijah Pedro, Jaden Pierce, Blake Woodby. Elijah Pedro is the wide receiver. Oh, I got some family here at the house. So don't bother. Don't. They're going to be here. So you're going to hear my son. And what's up, Papa? I'm on live with the YouTube right now. I'm on live with the YouTube. You want to see?
Yeah. You want to play a game?
Sure, but I got to get ready to go because I got to go to the St. John Bosco game. I know. I'm talking about it right now. So I'm really looking forward to it. And we know Caleb Sanchez, he's going to be the guy that everybody wants him to be. So he's having a really good – you want to see?
I want to be in.
You want to be in it? Okay.
Well, let me just take off my shoes.
Okay. So, if we looked at the last game, man, it was really St. John Bosco they were all over. All right, here you go. We're only going to be on for a little bit because we're giving a little preview. Okay? We're right here. This is a little quick right here. So, yeah, the last game that St. John Bosco had, it wasn't anything that we didn't expect. We knew that they were going to dominate, but again, this was an East Coast team. Dylan Stewart didn't play, so that kind of sucked. But I was hyping him up. I wanted to see him play. I talked to him before the game. He said that it was a fight that happened and someone punched him and then he retaliated. But I understand. I'm not going to let somebody punch me. So that's just where I'm at. Yeah, but Friendship Academy, they had really good play from Michael Brown. I mean, the guy was doing. He had I think it was like a 75, 80-yard punt return for a touchdown, and he also had a touchdown. So they only scored 12 points, but still. All right, go ahead. Go with mom. What? What? No, man. Go ahead. Go with mom. Let me talk to some people real quick. All right.
And then we can play.
And then we can play a little bit. Yeah. So I think the only thing that I think they'll be able to hurt St. John Bosco on is the special teams play. So special teams play, I'm definitely want to see that on St. John Bosco. See if they just kind of tune it up, see what's going on with that. But man, I really want to see how Michael Van Buren is going to play, man. Not all the time do you get to see top quarterbacks that are going to affect a team like Oregon. To see him up close against St. John Bosco, because when I seen Luther Burden play, I mean, he had to show out. So I know Michael Brown last week, he showed out. So if you don't get the win against St. John Bosco, of course it's almost impossible. You know what I mean? Because they're just so good. Them and Mater Dei. Huh? Where? Yeah, have mom do it. So let's just look. I'm going to look at some of the plays that happened with St. John Bosco that just kind of like broke it open. But last week going into the second quarter, I mean, it took St. John Bosco a little bit to get that first touchdown from Caleb Sanchez to Daniel Odom. It took him a little bit, and then after that, you know, St. John Bosco kind of got pushed down the field a little bit, and that's where Michael Brown scored the touchdown. But I mean, in football, you always want to stress discipline. So at one point, I believe it was 4th and 2, and I think they were at the let me see, I think they were at the 30-yard line, and they got St. John Bosco to jump, and they got them the first down. So it just gave them some momentum to come down the field, and they were. The thing that did them wrong was that they kept on. I wouldn't say it was inaccurate because people were there, but it was just the inaccuracy after every 5 throws, then one was completed. You know, you're not going to get that many chances against St. John Bosco. That just doesn't happen. So their quarterback, I'm sorry, guys, I don't know his name. I stopped his name. He was going to Mike the whole time. So St. John Bosco DBs, they keyed in on that easily. They said, no, you're not going to keep on going to number 5. He's going to beat us like that. Like, he's not Reggie Bush. Plus, he was playing defense too. So, you know, there's only so many Travis Hunters out here. You know what I'm saying? So they did push down the field, and they could have tied it up 7-6, but they didn't have a kicker, or they missed the field goal kick. And then later on, it was a close play. They were down at about the 40-yard line, and what is his name? Just Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer caught a touchdown down the seam from Caleb Sanchez, and that just kind of I wouldn't want to say that broke their back, but it hurt them big time because they were doing pretty well. I mean, they were really hanging in there, but at the end of the day, it's St. John Bosco, man. It's the second best team in the country, defending national champions. So I really want to see how. I mean, can they keep it close, St. Francis? I want to see if St. Francis can keep it close. I want to see guys like Elijah Pedro, Jaden Pierce, Blake Woodby, and Michael Van Buren just say that, hey, man, that's enough. You know, we don't want to lose no more. So if they could hold it to what they did last week, where it was 13-7, that's going to be incredible. And that'll definitely make some news, man. I will definitely be excited to see how that's going to be. And then tomorrow we've got basketball coming. We got the Ron Macy Classic at McBride High School. So that's going on. we also got other teams that we're getting for football. So we got Long Beach Poly versus Sarah. That's going to be real fun to watch. I can't wait to see it. And, man, if you're going to St. John Bosco, make sure you keep an eye on number 3 on offense. That's Michael Van Buren. He's going to Oregon. Number 0, Elijah Pedro. He's kind of like their bubble screen. They like to run a lot of tosses. They like to, just zip screens, stuff like that. Jaden Pierce, same thing with him. Blake Woodby, he's number 2. He's the DB. He kind of sets the tone, so he'll probably be on Daniel Odom today. And Idris Farouk, number 5, he brings a lot of tenacity to the team. And I think that he's going to be one of their X factors for the team. I wouldn't be surprised to see Caleb Sanchez attack him and just try to see where he's at. But then again, I think the dark horse is Mason Beal. Mason Beal is a big dude. I was going to look up his size. Let me see. Where's his size? Let me see. Mason Beal, number 18. I mean, he's 6'1", 190, but he looks a lot bigger than 6'1", 190. Yeah, so if you're going to the game, make sure you guys watch out for them. And St. John Bosco, we already know the guys you need to look out for them. So, but try to keep an eye on Chauncey Sylvester and Cameron Jones. They might do some damage in this game, and it might just be a 2 running back showdown that's going down in this game, because I think St. John Bosco, they're not going to have a hard time going down the field, but it's going to be tested, because they were able to see the best quarterback in the country, De La Raiola, at Buford. So it's not like Caleb's going to show them anything different. So I want to see how Bosco is going to respond if they are down, or if it's tied going into half, because Bosco, one thing about this team is that they're very young and they're unproven yet, so they're making themselves known. So they're going to be they're still talented, but they're going to get to that point where now the scholarships and everything is going to start coming in, and they're fighting for it. And you can see it every game. If you're watching St. John Bosco games, they're fighting for it every time. And that just goes back to the whole coaching staff of what they've got going on and how they've built up this factory right now, this football factory. And I want to see how the line does. I want to see how the line – now, if they were going against last year's line of St. Francis, then we would have a problem. But we don't. Man, I got to go. All right, man. Make sure you guys comment, watch this game, and I'll catch you on the next one, all right?